On behalf of ICSI and King's College London, I'd like to thank you all for coming here, and indeed to Trends Advisory and Research for the excellent partnership we've been building with you guys over the last few years.
In the modern time, what we typically associate with political Islam, either extremist versions, as we see with ISIS, or groups like the Muslim Brotherhood saying we'll participate in elections, but they share a common theme. They are going to impose their version of Islam upon everybody eventually, one way or the other. That seems to attract individuals. That seems to have an attraction for a variety of reasons that we can understand, but it also seems to be the key reason why some of these kids are engaging in violence.
They're still constantly looking for new platforms, new ways to get their message out. They are nothing intensely creative and adventurous.
When we look at what government does, we can see that there's a political response to public fear. And that, I think, is providing exactly what terrorists want to do. And there should be a political response to public fear, which is to calm public fear. To say, yes, there will be attacks. Sure, there'll be attacks. And people will get killed. And there's a tiny, tiny, tiny chance that you might get killed or someone close to you might get killed. But this is life.
There's one tool in particular which the Italians use a lot, which is a nightmare for civil liberties advocates, but it is from a strict perspective of counterterrorism very effective, which is deportations, expulsions. Italy is one of the very few countries left in Europe that does not give citizenship easily. It does not give citizenship to people who are born on Italian soil.
IS doesn't produce rafts of theological and ideological material. Again, tomorrow you'll hear from Ayman, who probably brings more ISIS documents to public attention than anyone else. And what's so remarkable about these documents is they're mostly administrative. They're about the functions of statehood, but they're not ideological. They're not theoretical.
Key thing that I want you all to take away from this is that it's complex, but it's not spontaneous. This is something which has been designed, honed, which is continually evolving, and it's very sophisticated, and we need to treat it like that. We need to recognize that our response to it has to be equally as sophisticated.
Peter and I are advocating heavily for the last 1.5 years, I think, for a German national prevention strategy against violent extremism. And there have been some efforts to do this, but there is a certain reluctance among the states, the Länder.
The expectations that users have of specific platforms are different. And all of that shapes the content policies, all of that shapes how difficult it is to understand the content on those platforms. And that's where this conversation, I think, really needs to move if we're going to have a more productive conversation going forward.
But one option that I find interesting, and where I also heard the internet companies would be interested in, is maybe have legislation that would say, that would really clarify the framework and, for example, say that if a company offers the services in Europe, then it has to directly respond to the law enforcement requests of evidence of the European countries, and obviously that would facilitate things a lot. And I leave it at that.